the non-featured drafters migrate to another chat,
Right. That's
just
right.
to
And so
simplify.
since we are commenting, anybody who stays here, just please mute yourselves and enjoy the show. So if the other drafters want to migrate to Belanon, there we go.
How do I
Good luck,
mute
everybody.
myself?
Paul, we're not following your draft, so you might as well go to Belanon with the others.
Whoever asked how to mute, you click the little microphone icon.
Here we go. John, how are you doing, buddy?
I am good. We are rolling, so as soon as everyone migrates over, we are ready to start.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah, I
start
think
the...
Paul,
Yeah,
you need to move to the other room.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll help him out.
Right.
There he goes.
He's just not in this room. I guess that works.
And Jordan would need to deafen, presumably.
Yeah. Is
Awesome.
Jordan ready to go? All right, I'm going to start the draft session. Here we go.
All right, everyone, welcome to your Shadows over Innistrad Megadraft. I am the host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. And I'm joined with Chris York. Welcome, Chris.
Oh, well, thanks, John. I'm happy to be here in the booth with you, providing what modicum I can of historical content.
So we're looking at our first pack of Shadows here. We got a Bruna. Hard to not want to take that. A Rise from the Tides, that's close to my heart. You know, I'd probably be forcing that real hard if I could. But yeah, Jordan's looking at Bruna. We're following Jordan M, JM Tron. The Babe Ruth of the league, really.
Yeah, he's highly favored, as I posted in the announcements thread earlier. Highly favored for the 2023 Player of the Year, and a bit of a wunderkind, right, in terms of how he's just kind of come to the server and dominated from his first league where he went ninth place, and then he's appeared in every top 8 since, including this one.
And won the last Mega Draft, so he could be a back-to-back winner here with
Our
a
second.
nice draft. Yeah, our second one. Wow. Can you believe it? He does lock in Bruna once the rare that returns a creature.
Oh my
And he's-
God!
Oof. Oof.
And rewarded immediately.
Rewarded with Avacyn, but there's also a Clear Shot if you want some removal. Like, Clear Shot's a pretty great card. Is he going to go for the 8-mana Avacyn?
How do you not take that Avacyn? That's just a game ender. I mean, if there's any way to ramp, and there are a few ways in the format, that just represents the death of your opponent.
So that
Certainly.
means that Emmett opened Avacyn, did not like it. I wonder what was in Emmett's pack that he took over.
What was
Avacyn.
better than Avacyn?
Maybe it's the other Avacyn. Who knows?
This is an Avacyn-rich format.
Jordan has highlighted the Avacyn. He does like it more than the removal of the Clear Shot. Wants to stay in white. You know, bomb
My
after
God.
bomb.
It's, yeah, I can actually tell you what Emmett chose. He chose it looks like a Gisela.
Okay. Takes it yourself.
Either that or a Thraben Inspector. I think that he took a Gisela.
Wow.
Yeah, he took a Gisela first actually, and took a Thraben Inspector second pack. So yeah, he had another balmy white angel that he took instead of that one.
Well, makes sense. Makes sense when you look at it from that perspective. And here we're looking at a pack with not much white.
Yeah, I don't think you're
At
going to
all.
get Sigarda's Aid going, are you? I don't know. That's a different kind of deck.
No, I don't think you want Sigarda's Aid. Technically you could play Wretched Griff, but I mean your curve is pretty high to go 7-drop, 8-drop, 7-drop.
Yeah, so right now I guess you're looking for a secondary color or something way lower down the curve in white to keep you alive until you can drop your game-ending bombs.
So here he might be looking at, what's my second color? What's another color I could play? He looks at Jesus Bidding, a great card. Makes 2 zombies for 4 mana.
Yeah, the bidding's not bad. It plays into the red-black archetype for Madness though, which if you're going like big white creatures, it's going to be hard to justify splashing them, right? Because they require double, triple pips in white. So that's a weird one. Here I think I take the volley, right? You take the volley because that is prime removal, and then you kind of go into Rakdos colors, which is a human-centric theme in the Innistrad world, and pretty strong, as I recall.
I like the chaplain. 3-1 with lifelinks, no joke, and you make the 2 spirits from the graveyard. You know, it's a good white card. Goes with your other white
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, maybe I got blinded by the hard to get removal. But I mean, Chaplain functions as kind of a time walk on your opponent, right? It's going to buy you a turn of life, and it's going to block profitably while you build up to your big angel. So maybe it fits better with his game plan to go with the Chaplain here.
I really like Midnight Scavengers here. Keeps him in black. I mean, his curve is looking high, but he's going to pick up some lower cost creatures to get back with that.
Oh yeah. Think about okay, so here's the trap with the Midnight Scavengers. Suddenly Graph Rats looks like the best card in every pack.
That's true. That's true. You do really love a Graph Rats with a Scavenger. I've never melded them, honestly. I've never melded anything.
I have.
You have?
I have. It's totally worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. But I think this. I don't know about this. I don't know about this pick.
He's highlighted Essence Flux, which was an overperformer during the league. I mean, 1 mana, protect a thing.
Yeah.
I got blown up by it a number of times, so it is a nice little protection spell there for him.
I guess if you're investing 7-8 mana in a creature, you want to have some life insurance, right?
Now look, we did it. There's a Graph Rats, so whoever he passed the Scavengers and is now passing the Graph Rats.
Someone's gonna live that.
Yeah, someone's getting hooked up. And there's also a black rare in this pack that he doesn't seem too interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Call the Bloodline is stronger than a Stromkirk Condemned. I mean, it sits around, I guess.
They're both kind of madness enablers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he just values the 1/1s.
Yeah, it's harder to remove from the board too, right? So you play Call the Bloodline, no one's going to take that out usually unless they have a very specific kind of removal. So it's more durable in terms of a madness outlet. But again, the white-black archetype is not really known for madness. It's known for delirium, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like sacrifice, graveyard, yeah, kind of stuff.
But I guess that Call the Bloodline fits into that archetype as well because you get to choose what you discard and you can build delirium.
Yeah, that's true. If you discard the chaplain and then make some spirits out of it, you're getting some good value.
So maybe there's a method to the madness, so to speak, here.
Takes the mantle over the blue uncommon sleuth. So I don't know if he's really thinking about blue at all with that essence flux in there.
Mantle's a controversial card. Some people swear by it as a game-ending bomb. Other people say that it's one of those enchantments that's kind of like win more and opens you up to being blown out by removal.
I like at least one mantle. I mean, I've definitely lost to mantle my fair share, so I get it.
You get it. You get the hype.
But yeah, you're right. It is that enchantment that opens up for 2, maybe even a 3 for 1 if you sacrifice something and then your thing dies. Kind of taking some spirits here, with Drogskull Shieldmate, now Guardian of the Pilgrims. Not high-end commons, but they'll fill out the deck.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about this, and I was thinking in the choice of the, I think he chose the Shieldmate over the recurring Black Skeleton.
Yes.
And I was thinking if he's going into this discard archetype, that the Skeleton really is a key piece of that, but he maybe thinks it's going to either wheel or he's going to pick up more of them.
Yeah, and he also could just be banking on maybe, there's a couple madness cards in these colors. This gives me an extra way to activate them. These cards may not make the final deck, right?
Now do you speculate on Sigarda's Aid? Now that the competing cards are not that strong, right?
No, I still think No, I think you want the waltz. It's more discard. He's going for this creature heavy thing. He can get back these big angels.
I think maybe he might be going for some sort of
reanimator, maybe.
Yeah. I see it now. He's hoping to pick up some reanimation spells in black, get those angels out. He's finding discard. He's finding ways to discard them. Yeah, I see it now.
So now you just need to find a way to get them back, and then you protect it with the essence flux.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it takes me a while to catch up with
We got
one
there.
of our.
We got there.
Yeah, we saw the plan. We investigated until we got
We
the overall
cracked.
scheme
We
here.
we paid 2. We cracked the clue, and you know what? We
Yeah.
drew our card. Deck's looking, not bad after the first pack.
No, I mean this is as good as you can expect, right? I think.
He's light on. He
Um,
doesn't have any removal yet, so he's probably
yeah.
gonna be looking to pick up some of that. But he's got good top end, and he's got a nice curve going.
I wouldn't panic though, because remember that Shadows Remastered has very little in the way of removal and interaction. So he's going to be leaning, I think, on Vow and Midnight Hunt to pick up the removal that's missing from this set.
And
If
which
that
which
makes
one
any
of those
sense.
is our next pack? What are we going into next?
We go to the wedding themed set, Crimson Vow.
Crimson Vow.
So, I mean, usually the way we do this is reverse chronological. So we start with the present set and work our way backwards. So even though Shadows Remaster really is the first of the set, chronologically it's been remastered, so it goes as the first set. Then we go backwards through time through Vow, and then we end with Midnight Hunt.
And he does open up a nice piece of removal here in his Vow pack with a Hero's Downfall, downshifted to
Oh,
uncommon.
God.
But that's
That's great.
that's a great little card to pick up if he wants it.
He's got to be thirsty for that, right? That's
Yeah.
going to keep him alive and
That's
it protects his plan.
Yeah. Also hits Planeswalkers. Nice card. There's a pretty strong green rare, but I don't think he's going to be looking to shift just off of that.
No,
Oh, he's looking
I
at
think
the
that
white cards.
I think you got to take the downfall here, right?
I would, but I'm not, feature mega drafter Jordan. Oh, my screen's gone black. What's happened?
Yeah, for me too. I'll PM Jordan. I don't know what's going on.
Technical difficulties here during the Shadows over Innistrad Megadraft. Possibly haunted by a spirit or a werewolf. Could have bitten Jordan's internet connection. He didn't want us to know what card he was going to take there. He highlighted the white card, but we're talking about the black card. What happened? Who done it? I don't know, but I thank you for sticking with us.
I'm gonna go. I'm basically. I give him a message now, so he should be receiving that and able to start the stream again. In the meantime, I suppose what we could do is.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Is he back? Okay.
He's back. No Hero's Downfall in the deck. He went with Circle of Confinement, went with the enchantment removal. Interesting call. But hey, he's Jordan, and he's good at what he does. Another nice little discard skeleton here with Persistent Specimen. But he does have the Reanimate spell, Edgar's Awakening. So if he does want to go on this Reanimate plan, he has found, a way to make it happen. He has highlighted it. Yeah, he wants to be, discarding Avacyn for value and then bringing it back. And it's going to be, if he makes it happen, it's going to be disgusting.
Well, I hope that we're here and to witness the filth that combination will enable.
Blue Mythic in the pack, so blue looks like it might be kind of open from the other side. Not a ton here. Another skeleton. He hasn't really been too interested in these skeletons that can come back from the graveyard.
Just a quick question, John. Is Jordan's picture blinking for you?
No,
Okay, good. It's all right.
it's not. He's highlighted the Mythic. I don't know if he, wants to make this blue splash happen, or he's just not too excited about anything else in the pack, and he, wants to hate this out. He still might be thinking, maybe I can make a blue splash happen in this deck. Another pack, another rare, although it is the rare land Voldaren Estate. That's the one it taps to make blood tokens.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like a rare, right? Doesn't sell like a rare.
No, no.
It feels like you get the booby prize when you open that with your pack, right? Especially if you're building the kind of deck that Jordan is.
There's not much exciting here other than that, though, right? Black seems to be drying up. The white cards that are left are not cards you want to be spending a fourth, fifth pick on, really. Goes for another blue card. Sees that the black's starting to go away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's speculating really, really lightly on blue, right? As a possible supplement for his build, but
I think he's being forced into it, right? Like that last pack had like no good white or black cards. This pack's got like I would probably play that white card because that's more graveyard stuff. Exile it from your graveyard. But other than that,
which raises the question: who's cutting him, right? Who's in that archetype down the line?
yeah, it could be both. Could be on both sides. It's hard to say. But the
I'll
blue
do some
is flowing.
investigating. I'll do some investigating here, and I'll see who's in that archetype.
All right, don't get too morbid with it, Chris. As you do your investigating.
Well, I can tell you right now, right, that in the next table here.
Jordan's looking at Syncopate now.
So downstream, who's feeding Jordan now is Evan, and it looks like Evan is developing an interesting Jund build.
Okay.
So his black could be getting cut from that direction. Damien currently looks like he's building something in Golgari.
More black going away, yep.
Richard looks like, well, I'm not going to comment too much on that, but it seems like Richard is shopping widely. He's mega drafted enough to know that you don't need to decide your colors in pack one, and he has decided to go shopping from every aisle of the grocery store.
Jordan is picking up some nice removal over here. He got a Fierce Retribution, and now he's looking at a Grizzly Ritual back to back.
I think I found our problem here. Paul, our points leader going into this mega draft, he is also in black and white, firmly. And interestingly enough, Jordan's going to play him in the first round, given the way that they're seated. So we're going to see two Orzhov decks go against each other in round one. Who drafted it better? We'll find out. Just to round it out here, Caleb is in blue-white spirits. Pigeon currently looks like he's also building Jund. So there's lots of black drafters at the table here. And once again, Emmett, it looks like maybe Jeskai good stuff is the best way I'd describe it. Like Richard, he seems to be non-committal at this point as regards his main colors.
So Jordan's starting to see these blue cards come by, and he grabs a Syncopate, and now he's looking at a Siphon Essence, so he's just grabbing counterspell after counterspell. So that's what Emmett's seeing too, is that all this blue is starting to come out. And blue might be the open color for this spot, because it does sound like black is really...
it's overdrafted.
Yeah, it might not be there.
A full four players are drafting black as one of their main colors, and the others their other two players are speculating on choice black cards. So there's not much going around, and I think that what Jordan's done is he's tasted the wind. He's picked up on the fact that the best picks are shifting into a different color.
And blue-white control is not a bad spot to be in, especially when you have some big finishers like he already has, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's just another way of staying alive, right, until they can drop these bombs. So I think if you got two key pieces, right, like Bruna, like Avacyn, you just got to find a way to stay alive and have them win the game for you. And I think he's either through black or through blue. Plan's the same, right? Stay alive till you can get those on the board.
Yep.
What are we looking at here?
He just takes the 1/3 here.
Okay. This is maybe he hasn't given up on reanimation entirely, because Selhoff and Tumor can get creatures in graveyards. So if he somehow chances
Okay.
into a black reanimate, he can maybe splash the reanimation bit
He
instead of
has
splashing the blue bit.
Edgar's Awakening already as a reanimate spell.
Yep.
But he has no fixing. Is kind of the issue. Like, I don't think he can build this 3-color. He's going to have to pick,
Oh.
one or the other, unless
Pick a lane.
something comes together here.
I mean, to be fair, this is something that is, unique to this format. We have 6 packs to make a 60-card deck from. So that's what makes the Megadraft a Megadraft. The decks are mega sized, and you get a mega amount of packs to choose from. And as you saw in Richard and Emmett's kind of survey of the draft, you don't need to choose necessarily, even at the end of pack 2.
Yeah.
So pack 3 might be the deciding pack for Jordan.
So here you watch Jordan take all the black cards out of his deck and immediately open, a black heavy pack. Let's see if that interests him at all. Now he wants the blue bounce spell.
Interesting. Seems like his mind's made up, right? He's even taken out the black cards from his deck that he's building here.
Yeah, I think he's decided that he has blue-white control. He doesn't want to try to make the Flesh Taker work, the Diregraph Horde. These are great cards. Even Champion of the Parish, there's going to be zombies around. That's going to do some work. But he's staking his claim on blue-white.
Which is weird, right? Because blue-white has an aggressive kind of slant to it, right? If it wins in the air quickly with tempo, that seems to be the spirit plan. So having like late-game big bombs, I don't know. I guess maybe it's a plan B for that strategy, but it sort of puts those cards in the background instead of the foreground.
Yeah, blue-white is also spirits, but he's also got all these angels going on. He's not really deep into spirits, although he does get a spirit lord here. So he has the option to, and I'm sure he's going to run into some spirits along the way.
Yeah. The spirit lord is in itself a pretty good reason to go heavy on spirits. Like it's a flying, it's a Windrake with huge upside.
Search Party Captain, of course, a 2 on the Cloud Blazer scale. I don't know how you don't take that right here. Nothing else is close to being a Cloud Blazer.
For those not familiar with our unique nomenclature, what is the Cloud Blazer scale?
Oh, so the Cloud Blazer scale is how much is the card like a Cloud Blazer. So it's a 2/2, and it draws a card. So that's 2 things Cloud Blazer does. It doesn't cost 5 mana. It does not gain life, and it doesn't fly. Those are the other criteria to be a Cloud Blazer. But still, 2 out of 5.
Color identity, does that matter?
I don't believe color identity matters, but it's a notch in its cap, right? It helps.
Okay.
He does go with the Search Party Captain. He knows the Cloud Blazer scale. He is a good player.
Well, I mean, if you chain together Search Party Captains, that's a pretty good life, right?
And here's another one. How could you not?
So, your opinion, John, in terms of like Vow versus Midnight Hunt, where's the juice? Where's the power?
I'm really, after watching that Crimson Vow pack, I'm much more excited about these Midnight Hunt cards. Like Search Party Captain, cards that draw cards, Morning Patrol, cards that come back from the graveyard. Instead of like Decayed Zombies is kind of the main thing that he's going to get out of these Crimson Vow packs, which I'm just not as high on. They don't really stick around. They can't block. You really need to work to get those things going. But Search Party Captain, you draw a card. Although he doesn't even want it. Jordan, he wants the startle. He wants these spells. He wants this control shell.
Yeah. Yeah, my sense is that the bread and butter cards in Midnight Hunt are just much stronger, but the rares are much more prominent in Crimson Vow. So we see Jordan still following the blue line here, taking a startle.
Yeah, a nice selection of white cards here. And even in Evolving Wilds, if he wants to somehow try to make a splash work. But, Gavany Silversmith was a pretty good common in this format. Bereaved Survivor, can flip and bring cards back from the graveyard. He's already got graveyard synergy. Cathar Commandos, some nice artifact and enchantment hate, or you could just go for the the flying graveyard hate of the Griff. Like all these cards are probably going to make the deck in the end.
Yeah, you have these packs, right, where you wish you could take multiple cards from them, and outside of Conspiracy, you can't.
Yeah. And even if he was still in black, like Siege Zombie is a clock. There's also a Flip the Switch, another counter spell for his spells deck. He's checking his instants and sorceries because there's a Delver of Secrets in the pack. So he's thinking...
He's got to be keeping an eye open for fixing, though, too, right? Missing that Evolving Wilds, I mean, you got to... I know this is still pack 3, but I think he's got to turn his sails into the wind here and start looking for fixing.
I mean, 3 white pips in that Avacyn is no easy feat, even when you get to 8 mana. But it does have some options here. Delver of Secrets, of course. Modern staple at one point. Strong card. Doesn't want the curse.
You know, I'm unfamiliar with what that curse does.
I'm not either, but I think it's something not very good.
It's got to be constructed, I guess.
Yeah.
They probably intended to be a constructed card, I think.
No black cards, no white cards. Secrets of the Keys. It's a fine draw spell here. We'll make the cut in your, white blue.
Would you take the Candle Guide here just to fix your mana? That's the question. Are you that desperate?
I think if he's just playing blue white, he doesn't need that much fixing.
Maybe you're right.
If he wants to do the black thing, then yes. But I think he's over it. I think he's past it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. If you're just 2 colors, you don't need a whole lot of fixing.
No, I mean,
but if you're thinking of splashing black for a reanimate spell, I think maybe then it starts to go up in value.
Yeah, and he already has the reanimate spell, and he could have taken the fixing to see if it would come back, but no, he wants to build blue white. He's really all in on blue white. And it
Consider is kind
open.
of fixing too, right? The Consider that he took is kind of fixing in a way, right? Because it helps you churn through your deck if you're stuck on, let's say, mono blue and you're looking for your planes to open up that part of your deck.
Yeah. Definitely helps.
Yeah.
Nice choice here between like Devious Cover Up, which is a pretty great counter spell and also hits graveyards, or Candle Grove Witch, which is a nice aggressive 2-drop that can get into the air when you have Coven. He's loading up on counter spells. He's got 4 in the deck right now.
Interesting. He's taking a Blood Pact here, so there's, his tertiary color is still black. He's keeping a toe in when there's no other choice.
Yeah, when there's nothing in his colors, he'll take a black card.
Yeah.
Sure, he's Jordan. He knows what he's doing. Blue. That's a late flip the switch for him. He did find the lane of blue and stuck with it. I think that has been helping him out a lot.
There's still no bombs in blue, right? There's no bombs in blue. It's just been serviceable cards, I think, right? Maybe Jacob Halkin potentially is a bomb.
Well, he's got the bombs in white, so he's got bombs already. He just needs to fill out the rest.
So going into the 4th pack here, what's your verdict on Jordan's build so far? What grade would you give it?
Ooh, what grade would I give Jordan's build? I think it's pretty good, actually. I think I want to say he's a little light on removal, but you gotta think of his counters are going to be his removal spells. So I'm gonna say he's in the B's. He's got these strong finishers. He's got this control game. He's got card draw. I like it. I like what he's doing.
Okay. Still, I mean, a B is not an unqualified. How can I say it? It's not you're not completely in accord with what's happened here. It's not the best case scenario for Jordan.
I think he's found the deck that he's supposed to be drafting. I don't know if he's been opening up bomb after bomb card for that deck, right? Like this is the best version of blue white I've seen. But this is a very strong blue white deck, and he was smart to get out of black when he did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that dried up. That clearly dried up, and it's not like, of course, any particular card really made him stick. With black, there's no bombs in that color, right?
And he takes the burn from it in a nice red X burn spell out of a pack that wasn't very exciting for his colors. Good options here, though. Ongoing investigation, some nice card draw engine for a blue deck. Drag under, bounce a thing, draw a card. You're going to play a bunch of those if you can.
What's your take on the burn from within choice? I think that's a very easy splash, and it definitely ends games. So even though he hasn't been in red at all, I mean, I can see that being just something you scoop up and maybe, splash.
I mean, there was nothing in that pack that he was really going to play anyway. Nothing was too exciting. So, one, it's an option for him if he can find some of that fixing we were talking about, and two, it's a card that he doesn't have to worry about going face in one of his games. Right? It's now off the table.
So you think that with the swivel between pack 3 and 4, now we're into the hate drafting section?
I think it's possible. I mean, I don't think that's 100% why he took it, but it's a card that you don't want your opponents to have, and it's a card that will just finish a game if the game goes long enough, right? Although he is looking for a long game plan, so he might be able to get away with just one or two sources and hoping to get a big X burn you out kind of thing going. Takes the spirit here. He has that spirit lord, so all his spirits kind of go up in value a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Nothing else in this pack is really too exciting either.
Yeah, I mean, if there are bombs here in this in this pack, we're not really seeing them, right? At least in Jordan's colors, not much going on.
No, I mean he does get that
How do you
good removal here in the Bound by Mood silver.
Gaia Reach Sanitarium or Gaia Reach Sanitarium? How do you rate that card? The rare that was in the previous pack.
I like it. I'll play it. I mean, especially if you're playing any kind of madness or graveyard discard synergy. I love it. But sometimes you can get your opponent. You wait till their upkeep, they draw a card. You wait till they're empty-handed, get that last card, make them discard it. It can do some fun things in the right circumstances. Has some options here. If he wants the Shield Mate, it's another spirit for this spirity deck, or a counter spell. Does highlight the Shield Mate. Not looking at the Fiend Binder.
I think you got to take the Shield Mate over another counter spell. He's got so many counter spells already, right?
Yeah, he has a lot.
You want to get creatures on board early on. That's also part of your plan for staying alive. So, in a way, it's a delicate balancing act, right, between creatures that soak damage and spells that counter your opponent's spells. Need both.
Take Inventory really goes down in value in the Megadraft, huh? With only 2 packs, can't really get a good amount of those.
Yeah, so the scrutiny does seem to be better here. I mean, Investigate is just delayed draw, I suppose, is a way of looking at it.
Yeah, and he wants interaction. He wants to make the game go long. That's kind of what he wants to do, and he's getting a lot of cards that do help that strategy. Oh, and here's another Take Inventory. Maybe somebody's going to have a bunch of those. Nobody else wants them.
Yeah, it's true, right? I mean, so you think about like the value of Take Inventory in a draft like this. It really is a coordination problem, right? So if one person sees the value in it, nobody else does, then the market is open for taking them, and someone's going to get paid off big. If everybody sees some potential value in it, then it goes down. So it will be interesting to see if anyone's been hoarding those at the end of the draft. So Faith-Bearer Paladin, I suppose, is a way to stay alive.
Yeah,
life gain.
Nice life blinker. Blocks a lot of stuff that's coming down. Although the last few picks, we're really not seeing too many, white and blue cards.
I mean, Faith-Bearer Paladin is one of those cards that I think that you kind of take when there's nothing better in the pack, and it often ends up getting cut in the final build. Just because 3-4 for 5, not great stats, and even the lifelink.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on Jordan's deck, as he's really only got 2 more spots in it right now till he's basically got a deck. He's been doing a good job of putting cards in the sideboard that he doesn't want to play. Yeah. And there's cards in there, Secrets of the Key I could see making the deck. I could see Delver of Secrets possibly being in this. He has a lot of spells.
I mean, Lunarch Mantle is in the board. I noticed as well, right? So he has a sort of valuation of that card that approaches mine. You don't want it if you have something better you can run.
But imagine putting it on Avison and then giving Avison flying. Doesn't that sound fun?
I hadn't thought of that. That's fair.
All right, here's our next pack of Crimson Vow.
Yes, our fourth and our fifth and second to last pack.
Cradle of Safety was a nice hexproof trick in that format. Cruel Witness. That lets you basically surveil. Look at the top card of the library. You may put it in your graveyard. But not a ton of white and blue here for him. Nice white-black land if he had stuck maybe on this 3-color path. Might be interesting. But no, he's looking at the Cruel Witness, the flyer. Whenever you cast a spell, you can look at the top card of your library. You may put that card in your graveyard.
Yep. I mean, that's a pretty solid card. Sadly, not a spirit for Jordan's purposes, but otherwise pretty solid.
There is a spirit here in the Binding Geist. Or you could take another Chill of the Grave. And a nice Hero's Downfall in this pack. He's off the black, but now I think he might be starting to see a little bit of it.
I wonder, right? Here's the coordination problem of a draft this size. I wonder if other people have started coordinating off of black as well.
Yeah, and then it comes back around.
It opens up again.
Yeah, right.
The market's open again.
Ooh, that Twin Blade Geist, double striking spirit. I bet that's something he'd really like to get.
Would you like an update on where the other players are at?
Yeah, let's go around the room.
Okay, let me just give me a sec here to bring it up, and I'll see where we're at. So, who's feeding Jordan now is Emmett. Let's see if Emmett's colors have firmed up a bit since. Yes, they firmed up considerably. Now he's in Boros.
Okay.
Which means that that's why the black maybe is sort of easing up here with this pack.
That makes sense.
Further down the line, right, we have Pigeon. Pigeon has stayed with Golgari. He is a Golgari player now, and he's got lots of big boys. It's Cultivator Colossus, Sage of Ancient Lore, just big black and green creatures. Caleb, one seat down, is also in Blue-White Spirit still. Has a ton of flip cards, a Docent of Perfection, which was one of his sort of, as I recall, was it Pigeon that had the signature card? Pigeon had 2 Docent of Perfection in the main league, so it was one of Pigeon's signature cards. Paul is currently still in Orzhov, so there's another white-black drafter. And he's got a pretty good deck, too. He's the guy who picked up all the Midnight Scavengers. 2 Midnight Scavengers, just 1 Graph Rats, sadly for him.
Oh.
This is kind of the opposite of the problem that we normally face. Koffler's decided to go into Demir. So he's also firmed up in his colors, which you'd expect, right, by the 5th pack.
Yeah.
Damien is looking to be in Golgari as well, mostly with this little light blue splash. And finally, Evan is in black-red Rakdos Vampires. And that looks pretty scary, actually.
Oh yeah, I believe it. That's
nobody else is doing that, right?
Yeah,
so he's got quite a solid deck.
And the only other red drafter I think is Emmett, who is pretty far away depending on which way they're passing. So a lot of juice is flowing between those two.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's sad for Jordan, right? Because I mean there are so many other players that are in one or more of his colors. So it's not a wonder, right, that we've seen a lot of underpowered cards going around the table because the competition is strong.
And he's been able to pick up a couple more counter spells. Another Syncopate. He's looking at another either a Syncopate or another Spirit right now. So he's just going full on control deck. We're getting 1, 2, 3,
I mean, so here's the thing, right? So we've sort of commented that this draft it's still pretty good, but it could have been better, right? We're looking at like a B minus basically from Jordan's deck here.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, right? It's only half about the ship, and the other half is about the pilot. And Jordan's proven again and again that he has the strength to take, mediocre pools and rise above them. So curious to see if his play skill takes what is probably just an average to mediocre deck and make it really shine in the way that all the parts fit together in play.
Running 8 counter spells right now, 4 copies of Syncopate. He does have a really nice curve for having these 7 and 8 drops. Like his curve is looking very, very nice. So that's one thing. And like he's bringing in that Delver of Secrets with all these Syncopates. It's kind of a nice little aggressive tempo-y control deck, right? Because it's not super control like last a long time. He's got tons of 2 drops, 1 drops, spirits. He might be going for the tempo you out, get down a couple things, counter everything you do kind of plan.
But if you do that, right, then you're dropping, I guess, Bruna and Avacyn probably, right? Like if your plan is just to kind of like go under the wire and like play a 2-drop and then protect it with counter spells every turn until you win the game, that's not really the play Bruna and Avacyn.
Well, eventually you're going to be able to play Bruna and Avacyn, right? Like,
I guess, yeah, I suppose. I'm just saying there's a sort of like there's a disconnect between plan A and plan B. And I think that maybe I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, as a non-top 8, non-Megadraft player, I don't know if we can make those things work together in the same deck, or if one of them is gonna.
If you're Jordan JM Tron, you make it work. You
can make it work.
You find a way. Look, going into our last pack here. Gavany Trapper, another Secrets, another Counterspell and Dissipate, but nothing too exciting for his colors. Rise of the Ants, all-star of this format. Smoldering Egg, also a very nice little red rare that's going to go to one of our red drafters.
Mm-hmm. But then again, if you are one of our red drafters, if you're Evan all the way down the line here, or actually next to him, are you gonna deviate from the Vampire's plan to include the egg, which goes into the sort of blue-red spells archetype, which nobody is representing today?
Yeah, it's sad. That's sad, especially with Rise of the Tides, blue-red spells, and Sir being one of my all-time favorite decks. It means that no one's going to be bringing any zombies back from their graveyards, and that hurts my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the meme cards, I guess, that people have made various comments on. They've commented on the value of Rise of the Tides.
The Dragon Egg. I don't know if he's still thinking maybe I can make a little red splash work. The egg is great with all his spells, but
that's true. Yeah, if you're playing lots of counter spells, right? You're getting those counters. Is it off the egg or putting them on the egg? I forget which way it goes.
You put them on the egg, and then once you get to, I think it's 7 or 8 counters, it flips, and then all your spells are also dealing damage. So it is a nice little, kind of spells matter card. We'll see if it ends up staying in there.
I mean, maybe at this point too, right? You're thinking about in the 6th pack, maybe hate drafting isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah, because he's got more than enough cards to build a deck now, right? So he's got already 8 cards too many in the deck to really have a deck. Does pass up the Flying Carriage, which is a 4/4 spirit. That's a pretty good card.
Cost 6 though, right? And he's got. At 7 mana, he's got way better things to be doing.
Yeah, he does have
playing a Phantom Carriage.
This low curve that he likes to have.
I mean, Cathar Commando is a good insurance policy against random artifacts and enchantments that could be troublesome, and otherwise he has very few ways to deal with those if they sneak by his counter spells. So I kind of like it here, staying low to the ground, letting the bombs he already has do the work. Right, rather than speculating on, I mean, a strong but middle of the road card like the Carriage.
Doesn't want old stick fingers. Takes the 2/3.
Yeah, that would be just hate drafting right at this point. He's out of black. He's never been in green.
Yeah.
So really, that would just be spiteful if you took the stick fingers at this point.
Well, there's not even much to hate about old stick figures. If you want to play stick figures, you go for it. That's a card you gotta really try.
So do you take? I don't know. Dissipate is a great counter spell, but I guess the Archivist is more boots on the ground.
He has so many counter spells. He might just say I don't need any more because he does have a lot. A couple more options here. Some bounce spells. Cigar to Splendor. Maybe a little life gain. I mean,
couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt.
I don't know that it's a great card, but it's a card that in the right decks can do things, right?
Yes, I suppose that any card by that formulation, could do things.
I mean, this late in the deck, or this late in the draft, it's, it has to be a pretty good card to make the deck, right? There's a couple bounce spells. Those are both nice, but he's already got a few bounce spells. Morning Patrol, Trapper, not super exciting. He does go for the Fading Hope, which is nice, again, low curve, cheap card. He's reading Cigar to Splendor. He's thinking, yes, this card does do things in decks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Splendor, I've played against it. I've never actually put it in any deck that I've ever had, but I've played against it enough to know that it's worrisome if you're the opponent. It's just passive life gain, and sometimes it's passive card draw once you land it.
Both things that a control deck kind of wants, right? You want to be able to live a long time and stay alive, and you want to keep those cards flowing. Here he gets an Angler. This card was great in this format. Just the 1/2 that can come back from the graveyard. These cards that you can cast multiple times.
Bread and butter.
Yeah.
Bread and butter card.
Great card.
Still not seeing a lot of fixing, right, for Jordan here. So I guess he's going to be not splashing the burn spell.
I'd be surprised. He did take the Splendor, the Cigar to Splendor, out of that pack over the 1-mana bounce spell. That's interesting. Here he's just getting hooked up with Disturb card after Disturb card. Which he's got to like. He's got to be happy with that. And even the Filament stage, that's some nice card draw if he wants it. But he's keeping that curve low. Yeah, I don't think the red's gonna make the deck. It would be good in the deck, but the mana would be not ideal. Magnifying Glass taps for colorless, right? So that doesn't fix.
I mean, yeah, we're at the dregs point of the draft now, right? Everyone's picked their lane. Everyone's just taking whatever happens to be in their colors or things that they see will be highly problematic to play against. And so the last few picks.
Boy, did we lose Jordan again?
So after this, we will be taking a short break, maybe a 5-minute break. We'll be downloading the logs from the draft, and we'll be discussing where people ended up while our players build their decks.
After listening to you go around the table, I'm a little disappointed to hear there really aren't any werewolf drafters. I want to see someone with a nice werewolf deck. This is Innistrad after all. We need a vampire drafter, a spirit drafter, and a werewolf drafter.
Or your money back.
Yeah, right? Otherwise, is it really that spooky? Hall of Reprise. I mean, it's a blue-white rare that's still in the pack. I think
and ignored.
Yeah, and ignored. Yeah.
And denied.
Yeah, he really has just so many options when it comes to his spells. So many counters and so many bounce spells in blue. He's going to have to find a really nice balance between all that to kind of make this deck work, right? With all his creatures, too. Because none of his creatures are really big board presences till he gets to that end game. So this is gonna be a fun deck to watch.
Yes, indeed. So now with that, we'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the commentary on how the draft went for all of our drafters.